Ma, and we are back on Sports Talk. I am Panik along with Mr. Perfect.
The perfect one here, just trying to get the equipment set up. This is the final show. We're going to have some classic stuff. We have some vintage footage of shows from 2007 and 2008. Should be very entertaining to listen to as we saved a couple of our shows. We're going to play about over an hour of these clips on the show. We also have some great special guests today. Roy from the United Kingdom is finally going to call back. He's supposed to call up early in the show, apparently, so that'll be interesting to see. We also supposed to have a call from Jim Powers, as he mentioned that he would be willing to do it too, so hopefully he would call in, and if anyone else calls in, that's all right too, but we'll probably have to keep it pretty brief because this is just a jam-packed show today. All right, we're going to cover also a little bit about the sports. We're going to try to do it as quickly as possible today, though, just because there's so much going on in this show. So let's kick it off right now with the NBA and NBC and talk about some of the playoffs so far. Psyched for this show?
Oh, yeah. Coughing will not be tolerated.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the playoffs, they've started, and the first round, some games are actually already over, some still going on. I think the Cavaliers have advanced, is that correct?
The Cavaliers have advanced 4-0.
The Cleveland Cavaliers sweep the Detroit Pistons 4-0. No surprise there. LeBron James just dominated that series. The whole team playing better overall this season, and they're trying to look to get back to the Eastern Conference Championship and advance, try to win a championship. So we'll see what happens there. 4-0, clean sweep though over the 8th seed. What else is going on in the Eastern Conference here?
The other three series are still on. Boston leads Chicago 3-2.
3-2 here by the Boston Celtics. The Bulls actually played a very good Game 4, won it in double overtime. That was a crazy game just this past Sunday, and then another close one last night, but the Celtics able to come out on top on the Boston Garden, so it's 3-2, but the Bulls have showed a lot of passion, a lot of motion, close games, and they're looking to advance and see what they can do here.
The Orlando Magic lead the 76ers 3-2.
All right, the Sixers were up 2-1 last year on the Pistons, up 2-1 this year against the Orlando Magic, but they're starting to choke again, just like last year, and apparently things look very good here for the Magic, who look like to advance up 3-2. All right, next game.
And the Heat and the Hawks are tied at 2.
2-2. The 4-5 seed winner of this will play the Cavs. It's going to be a tough series for them, and just an interesting start so far. I don't really know who to pick in this one. I originally thought the Hawks would probably go in, but it's too close to call right now. Hawks, though, got a big road victory, their first road victory since 1997.
A big win for them, and Game 5 is on tonight.
Okay, in the Western Conference?
In the Western Conference, 2 series have come to an end. The Lakers have beat the Jazz 4-1.
And the Jazz, I predicted they would win one, so I was correct in that aspect. I knew the Jazz were a tough home team, so they defend the court well in Game 3, but Lakers dominate the series overall. They were a very far superior team than the Utah Jazz, and they showed in that series winning all their games at the Staples Center and winning one on the road, so 4-1, number 1 seed, probably going to the finals.
And the Dallas Mavericks knock out the San Antonio Spurs 4-1.
That's a little bit of an upset that they beat them so easily, considering the Spurs were even the higher seed in this series, so good job by the Dallas Mavericks. Don't forget Dirk Nowitzki and them, they constantly have been choking as of late, including the 8-1 seed against the Warriors 2 years ago, so good job there by the Mavericks for advancing. Mark Cuban will give a little cigar for all his players.
The Denver Nuggets lead the New Orleans Hornets 3-1 in their series.
Denver Nuggets here, I don't know why. They just outplayed them so far. They blew them out in Game 4. Game 3, actually, the Hornets had a 10-point lead this past weekend, and they nearly blew it. You know, the Nuggets basically gave up. They were fouling. They were just acting like big babies, and then they still almost blew the game, came out to the final shot, and I just can't believe how bad the Hornets have played in this series. I really expect them to play better, considering they got so far last year, and not good this year. Definitely the Nuggets are going to hold on to the series, in my opinion.
Game 5 tonight. And Houston leads Portland 3-2 in their series.
And Portland, they're salvaging to hang in there the last game to make it 3-2. But the Rockets look like to be the better team right now. But you can never tell. Rockets are a team that doesn't get far usually in the playoffs. So that can go either way, I guess. That's pretty much your NBA report. The second round coming up about a week, I guess. And now we're going to cover some Major League Baseball here. We're going to go through the standings and some afternoon games right now. I know the Marlins are playing the Mets. The Orioles are playing the Angels, I believe. All right, and it's 4-3 Marlins. What is that, the top of the ninth?
Yes.
All right, and just read off the rest of it. I can't really see that from here.
Seattle is beating the Chicago White Sox 3-1 in the bottom of the sixth. In the top of the fourth, the Rockies have a lead over the Padres 3-0. And the Diamondbacks and Cubs are just underway.
Okay, those are your afternoon games. Also a bunch of games tonight, but we're not going to go over that considering, as we said, this is a jam-packed show, a lot of entertainment coming up. We have an instant message. What's that about? Not important, really?
No, just random people talking.
All right, so hopefully they call in and we'll have an interesting show here. All right, we'll go through the standings right now and just analyze how teams are doing. A little bit shocker, though, in the American League, though, those three top teams, but let's go through them. Here we go.
All right. In the East, you have the Toronto Blue Jays, 15-7. The Boston Red Sox are 13-7. The New York Yankees are 10-10. The Baltimore Orioles are 9-13. The Tampa Bay Rays are 8-13.
All right, the Blue Jays have been a shocker this whole season so far. Don't forget, though, they have not played a division team. They'll play their first division team in the 1st of May, I believe it is. So I don't know why they waited so long to play a division team, but it'll finally happen this coming weekend, as they'll play in a series this Friday. I don't know. It's just still a shocker, though. They've gotten such a good start. I guess the pitching has helped them as well as the hitting coming clutch. Red Sox won that huge, after 2-6, they won 11 games in a row. It was absurd, and finally came down to an end yesterday as the Indians knocked them off 9-8. And I didn't think the Red Sox, they really deserve here to go on a big losing streak after all that winning streak, but we'll see what happens here. Really turned things around, though. They were 2-6 to start, and I'm just impressed. Yankees in 3rd place at 10-10. Had their ups and downs and just been going on for a while now. They got swept by Boston this past weekend. That was kind of rough. Nice blowout win over the Tigers yesterday. Was 11-0 or something like that.
Yep.
And, just up and down all season. We'll see if anything changes here in the coming months. Usually they get it on track by June or July, so hopefully they would be able to do that. Orioles got off to a good start, struggling lately. What did you expect? The Orioles, they stink. Rays, after winning the World Series, getting to the World Series last year, they just have been awful so far. 8-13, not very good, but it's only April. Let's see if they can turn around. Or I guess people don't see them as the underdog anymore, so they know it's coming and they try to prepare hard for them. That's what I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Moving to the Central, you have the Detroit Tigers are 11-9. The Chicago White Sox are 10-10. Kansas City Royals are 10-10. The Minnesota Twins are 10-11. Cleveland Indians are 8-13.
Pretty tight division. No one really out of it. Pretty close race. And who's in position first? The Tigers.
Yep.
Tigers have been playing pretty good ball in the series with the Yankees right now. Going to be tough for them, but we'll see what happens there. White Sox, they've had their ups and downs, as a lot of teams have so far. Royals coming out of nowhere this season. I don't know how they're a 500 team. They usually aren't that good. They're in the series right now. The Blue Jays got blown out yesterday, but winning half their games with Kyle Farnsworth on the mound, how's that possible? And also Sidney Ponson they got now. It's been working, though, the formula. Twins only about half a game behind them. Are they 10-11, you said? So
yeah. You
never know what to expect from the Twins. And then in last place, the Indians, they got to a very slow start, but they're starting to win some games here and there, and they might be hanging in that race when the time comes in September.
And in the West, you have the Seattle Mariners are 13-8.
Surprising Seattle Mariners.
The Texas Rangers are 10-10. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are 9-11, and the Oakland Athletics are 7-11.
All right, you got that first place team, the Mariners, who came out of nowhere. A lot of young talent. On paper, they look good, just like they did last year. But last year, they were just terrible. This year, things are happening, though. It's clicking together and off to a good start. Nice young team. We got to give them credit. In second place, Texas Rangers. They were that first series of the Indians. They just dominated. Then they went on a big losing streak, but they got themselves back to a 500 ball club. Got to give them credit there. Angels, a bit of a slow start, but they've been winning this division for, like 5 or 6 years. They've at least been in the playoffs, so
yep.
We'll see if they keep that up or not. And then the last place team is the Oakland A's. You don't expect too much from them just because they do have good pitching, but as far as hitting, they can't drive in runs, and they're trying to get that from Holiday and Giambi, and just not clicking so far.
Not clicking so far.
That's your American League update. Just a bit shocker, though, that, you got the Mariners in first, the Blue Jays in first, and Royals were in first just until recently. Still pretty close, though. So weird teams on top of the division.
Before we move to the National League, I was just going to say that Roy is calling in right now.
Okay.